All right, welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive.
Glad to be here.
This time we're heading down to the Bahamas.
Ooh, nice.
It sounds nice, right? And we're going to be looking at their energy system because they're about to revamp pretty much the whole thing.
Wow.
We've got some news articles here that are laying out some pretty big plans.
Sounds ambitious.
It is, yeah. We're going to be focusing on New Providence and the Family Islands specifically.
What?
So we're going to be looking at grid upgrades. There's a big push for solar power and even a brand new LNG plant in the works.
Wow, so like a complete overhaul.
Yeah, pretty much.
Interesting.
So we're going to try to figure out what exactly is changing, how it's all supposed to work, and what it could mean for, you and me living in Bahamas.
Yeah, what's going to be like for the everyday person?
Exactly. So, I mean, just imagine like cruise all over New Providence, upgrading the power grid, these huge solar arrays in Blue Hills,
Okay, yeah.
and the promise of lower energy costs.
Now that's something I think everyone can get behind.
Yeah, for sure. So to kick things off, let's talk about the power grid itself. The Bahamas Grid Company, they're partnering up with Pike Corporation for this $100 million upgrade project. What's the big deal about this partnership?
Well, Pike Corporation is a really big player in grid modernization. They've got a really good reputation for building systems that are reliable. They can handle a lot.
Resilient.
Yeah, resilient, exactly. So for someone living in the Bahamas, this could mean way fewer outages.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Fewer of those, like, voltage fluctuations.
Yeah.
Especially if you're on the eastern side of New Providence. I hear they have a lot of issues over there.
Oh, yeah. So we're talking about no more flickering lights, no more, like, sudden power dips when you're in the middle of cooking dinner or something.
Hopefully not.
That'd be a welcome change, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's all about making the power supply, more stable, more robust, and that means a better quality of life for everyone, really.
Makes sense. And I mean, less wear and tear on your appliances, too, probably.
Yeah, definitely. And maybe even lower bills in the long run.
Okay, so speaking of lower bills, the government is saying that this whole project will lead to cheaper energy costs. They're saying cheaper fuels, a more efficient grid, and lower maintenance costs are the main reasons. How realistic is that, though?
I mean, those are definitely all things that can lead to lower costs. But it's important to be realistic,
Yeah.
It's not like your power bill is going to be cut in half overnight.
Yeah.
I think the savings will probably be more gradual,
Okay.
as the new systems come online and start working better and smoother.
So not a magic bullet, but potentially some relief over time.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, I like that. And one of the most interesting parts of this plan has got to be the focus on renewables, specifically solar power.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
They're going all out. They're talking about dedicating over 200 acres to solar arrays in New Providence alone. That's huge. What kind of an impact could this have on the Bahamas, on their energy?
I mean, that's a lot of solar panels. If everything goes according to plan, this solar expansion could provide enough clean energy to power, I don't know, significant chunk of New Providence.
Wow.
And it would drastically reduce their reliance on fossil fuels, things like oil.
So that's a big step towards a cleaner energy future for them.
Absolutely.
And they've already picked out the spots they want to use, right? Like Blue Hills Power Station, behind CV Bethel High School, near Coral Harbor and Carmichael Road.
Yeah, I read about that. It's pre-spread out, which makes sense. You want to capture as much sunlight as possible.
Yeah, sure.
They're also partnering with independent power producers like Eco Energy, INTI, and Compass.
Okay.
They're not doing this alone.
Yeah, makes sense.
And they're planning to start construction like early 2025.
That's coming up quick.
Yeah, they're not wasting time.
So it sounds like they're really serious about making this happen.
It does, yeah.
And it's not just about cleaner energy. There are economic benefits too, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Think about all the jobs this is going to create. Construction, installation, maintenance, all those solar arrays will need people to take care of them.
Yeah, good point.
Plus, it could attract new businesses and investments in the renewable energy sector.
Okay, so potentially a win-win situation?
Yeah, cleaner energy and a boost for the local economy. It has a lot of potential.
For sure. And it's not just New Providence going solar. The Family Islands are getting in on the action too.
Right.
Utility-scale solar projects are planned over there as well.
Yeah. They're aiming to break ground around the same time, early 2025.
Wow, that's ambitious.
It is. But it's a good sign. It shows that they're committed to bringing renewable energy to the entire country, not just the main island.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a big undertaking, but it's definitely exciting.
For sure. So in addition to all this solar power, they're also building a new LNG plant at the Blue Hills Power Station. What's the thinking behind that?
Yeah, the LNG plant. It's kind of interesting because it's like a bridge,
Yeah.
between those traditional fossil fuels and the clean energy future they're trying to build.
A bridge, okay. So not the end goal, but like a stepping stone.
Exactly. LNG, it stands for liquefied natural gas. It's still a fossil fuel, but it burns much cleaner than oil or coal.
Okay.
So it releases fewer emissions, which is better for the environment, at least for now.
So it's a less polluting option while they work on increasing that renewable energy capacity.
That's the idea.
Okay, that makes sense.
And this plant is designed with reliability in mind. It's going to
Right.
replace some of the older generation capacity that they're currently renting.
Right.
It's going to help if there's any shortfall during emergencies and generally make the system more, robust.
So they're kind of building in a safety net into the power system. So even if one part goes down, other parts can pick up the slack, keep the lights on for everyone.
Exactly. Yeah, it's all about creating a more resilient and dependable energy system for the Bahamas.
Yeah. And this new LNG plant is going to play a key role in that.
Definitely.
It's supposed to be up and running by 2026, right?
That's the plan.
It's pretty impressive how much they're trying to do in just a few years.
Yeah, it's really ambitious.
It's a lot to handle. Grid upgrades, these huge solar projects, a brand new LNG plant.
Yeah, it's a lot of moving parts.
But it seems like the Bahamian government is really committed to making this energy transformation happen.
They are. It's exciting to see, but like with any big project, there will be challenges. Keeping everything on schedule, managing the costs, making sure all those benefits we talked about actually reach people,
Right.
Those are all hurdles they'll have to overcome.
Because it's one thing to have a plan, right? But putting it into action and actually delivering on those promises, that's a whole other thing.
Exactly. And then you have to consider the environmental impact. While LNG is cleaner than some fossil fuels, it's not perfect.
Right.
And those large-scale solar farms, they're going to have some impact on the environment during construction.
Well, so it's about finding that balance, right? Pushing for that cleaner energy future, but minimizing the impact on the environment along the way.
Absolutely.
It's a tough job, but it sounds like they're trying.
Yeah, for sure. And transparency is key here. The government and the companies involved need to be open about those impacts and show how they're trying to reduce them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And they need to keep people informed every step of the way.
Right. So people know what's happening, why it's happening, and how it might affect them.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, this is about their energy future,
Yeah.
their communities.
Yeah, their lives.
Exactly. It is. Yeah, it really is. And speaking of how it affects people's lives,
Yeah.
let's talk about the economic impact of all of this.
Okay.
Especially those solar projects.
Right.
We talked about jobs, but I think we can dive a little deeper there.
Okay, so beyond just construction jobs, right? What other economic opportunities could these solar projects bring?
Well, for starters, you got to think about the whole supply chain. You need people to make the solar panels.
Right.
You need people to transport them,
Yeah.
install them, maintain them.
Uh-huh.
And then there's the potential for developing expertise in solar technology.
Yeah. Right.
Maybe even attracting companies to the Bahamas that specialize in renewable energy.
Oh, okay. So it could be bigger than just those temporary construction jobs.
Yeah,
This could be creating a whole new industry with long-term jobs.
exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And it could be a game changer for the Bahamas.
Uh-huh.
I mean, not just diversifying their economy, but also empowering communities.
Right.
Think about it. Local businesses popping up to service those solar farms.
Oh, yeah.
Or even communities owning and operating their own microgrids.
Yeah.
Powered by solar.
Wow. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, it would be.
So it's not just about the big players, the government, and the corporations.
Right.
It's about giving individuals and communities the power to participate in this transition.
Yeah, that's a really cool aspect of this whole thing.
For sure. Of course, it's all still in the planning stages right now.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of factors that could affect whether or not these benefits actually happen.
Exactly.
It's definitely exciting to think about the possibilities, though.
It is.
And it really highlights that we're not just passive consumers of energy,
Right.
We can actually do something.
Yeah,
We can help shape our energy future.
absolutely. And that's an important point to remember as we watch how this plan unfolds.
Yeah, for sure. So besides just paying our power bills,
Right.
what are some ways that people in the Bahamas can actually contribute to this transition?
I mean, for starters, just think about how much energy you use,
Yeah.
Can you make some changes to be more efficient?
Okay.
Even small things like switching to LED light bulbs.
Right.
Or using energy-saving appliances.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not using the AC as much.
Yeah, those are all practical steps that anybody can take.
Yeah.
It's like that saying, every little bit helps.
Exactly. And when everybody does a little bit, it adds up.
Yeah, for sure.
But it goes beyond just saving energy, right?
Right.
It's about being an advocate.
Okay, so like talking to your friends and family about renewable energy,
Yeah.
supporting those local businesses that are trying to be more sustainable,
Uh,
maybe even reaching out to your elected officials to show your support for these clean energy policies.
exactly. Use your voice, use your choices to create the energy future you want to see.
Like that.
It's really empowering, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Knowing that you're not just along for the ride,
Right.
you can actually help make a difference.
Yeah, for sure. It changes your whole perspective. It's
Right.
not what's being done to me. It's what can I do?
Exactly.
That's a powerful way to look at things,
It is.
especially when you're facing something as big and complicated as transforming a whole energy system.
Yeah, and that brings us back to the heart of what we're talking about here.
Right.
This deep dive. It's not just about the technical stuff,
Huh?
the grid upgrades, the LNG plants.
Hmm.
It's about realizing that energy affects everything in our lives,
Yeah.
and we all have a stake in its future.
And in the case of the Bahamas, it seems like they're taking those big, bold steps towards a future where energy is cleaner,
Right.
more reliable, and hopefully more affordable for everybody.
Hopefully.
It's going to be interesting to watch how this all develops,
It is.
what challenges they run into,
Yeah.
and ultimately how successful they are.
Yeah, and as we keep following this story, there are a few key things we should really be paying attention to.
Yeah, for sure. Like
Uh,
what are the real signs that this energy transformation is working?
Good question.
Yeah, what should we be looking out for?
So first off, keep an eye on how they're actually implementing these projects.
Yeah.
Are they staying on schedule? Are they staying within budget?
Right.
And how are they handling those unexpected problems that always seem to pop up?
Right. Because those always happen.
Oh, yeah,
So it's not just about the big ideas, it's also about getting things done.
exactly. And then we have to look at whether those benefits we talked about are actually happening.
Yeah.
Are energy prices going down like they said they would?
Right.
Are people actually saving money on their bills?
And is everyone benefiting? Or is it just certain groups?
Yeah, exactly. A real energy transformation, a successful one, has to be fair to everybody.
Yeah, it's got to be for everyone.
And then there's the environment, remember.
Right.
We got to make sure they're doing what they said they would to minimize those negative impacts from the construction, the day-to-day operations.
Yeah. Are they keeping an eye on how these new energy systems are affecting things?
Exactly. Transparency and accountability. Those are key to making sure this shift to cleaner energy doesn't end up hurting the environment.
Right, because that would defeat the whole purpose.
Exactly. So yeah, keep those things in mind as you follow what's happening in the Bahamas.
Okay, good advice.
It's a complicated journey, but it's a really hopeful one, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
It could lead to a much better future for the whole country.
It really could. Well, I think we've done a pretty good job of exploring this ambitious energy plan.
I think so.
We've looked at what they're doing, how they're doing it, and what it all means, the potential impact.
Yeah, we covered a lot of ground.
But before we wrap up, what's the one big takeaway you want our listener to walk away with?
I think the most important thing to remember is that energy isn't just some abstract idea.
Right.
It's a real thing that affects every part of our lives.
Yeah, for sure.
It powers our homes, our businesses, our whole economy, really.
Mm-hmm.
And the choices we make today about where our energy comes from, they matter.
They have consequences.
Yeah, they'll have a huge impact on what the future looks like.
So it's not just about flipping a switch or paying a bill.
Right.
It's about taking control,
Yeah.
taking responsibility for our energy future.
Yeah, and being a part of shaping that future.
Exactly. And the Bahamas is showing everyone that a big, bold energy transformation is possible.
Yeah, they're really going for it.
One that puts a priority on cleaner sources, more reliability, and making sure everyone benefits.
Yeah, they're aiming high.
And like we said, you don't have to be a politician or some big CEO to make a difference.
Absolutely not.
Whether it's changing things at home to save energy,
Uh-huh.
supporting those businesses that are going green,
Right.
or speaking up for policies that promote clean energy.
Every little thing helps.
It all adds up.
Yeah, every action, even the small ones, contributes to building the kind of energy future we want.
So to all our listeners out there, stay informed, stay involved, and be a part of this exciting journey towards a more sustainable and prosperous energy future.
Yeah, it's a journey worth taking.
And if you're ever feeling lost or overwhelmed, just remember that question we talked about, what can I do?
That's it.
Because Even small actions, when enough people take them, can have a big impact.
They really can. It creates a ripple effect.
That's a great way to put it. Well, on that note, I think we'll wrap up this deep dive into the Bahamas energy plan.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for joining us on this journey of discovery.